So I hope you are able to see that. Somebody has asked me that these lectures are not available. I would be sending you these lectures shortly once we finish with the course. So the previous lectures would be sent, and then the presentation is techniques which we are going today, which we will be doing today, will also be sent to you on your Google Classroom. Okay, so you can check from that and you can study from that. So we will start with the presentation techniques today. Since it is necessary to know about the presentations or presentation techniques, because your NSEM is based on presentations. Okay, so you have to be pretty sure that you pay more attention on the presentation skills which is being shown today. So what is a presentation skill? It is basically interaction with the audience. Interaction means that whatever you are saying to the audience should be able to grasp your theme or your topic or your ideas which you want to present. If they are not able to understand, then again the presentation which you are giving, or the oral communication which you are doing, or the written communication, it will go to waste. So it is necessary that the first thing which is important is that you should have good interaction with the audience so that they are able to understand what you are saying. The second point is that transmit the messages with clarity. What does this mean? That it is not only that you are speaking clearly, but it is necessary that all your slides which are made in the PowerPoint should be made clearly. That means not much text, only the bullets have to be presented, and that has to be presented with clarity. The background, the font size, the text size, and everything should be very nicely formatted. The layout should be proper. And then there should be some kind of observations also made, like visual aids, so that you can explain it through graphs, through diagrams, or through pictures, so that it is easy for the audience to understand what you are trying to say. So it is a very short while that you have a slide for very short period, and in that small time you have to explain everything, all the points which you are discussing in that one slide. If you are discussing 4 or 5 points, then every point should be made clear. It could be with the help of audio-visual aids or some kind of animation if you wish to. So this is how you can transmit the message with clarity. Engage the audience in the presentation. So if you are only speaking, then the audience would not be very interested. But if you are showing some kind of visuals, the audience suddenly becomes more interested, and they feel interacted, or they feel attracted towards the presentation. So you have to engage the audience. For that, again, visual aids are necessary. Some stories or some jokes or some kind of entertainment is necessary to engage the audience in the presentation. Otherwise, if you are just speaking, it becomes very monotonous for the audience, and they might get bored or they might fall asleep. So you would not like to have that. So this is how you have to learn that how you can engage the audience so that they are lively and they are understanding your presentations. Then we come to the next point, that is communicate the mission and vision of the organization to the employee. Now, basically, what we are trying to do here is we are talking about the presentation skills which is done in professional setup. Professional setup means when you are working in an organization or any company or any kind of office. So for that, it is when you are presenting, you are supposed to be the leader of that team or leader of that organization. That is why you are called to talk about it. Okay, so that means that subject on which you are talking about is the expertise, is your expertise. That is why you are asked to talk about that. So now when you are considered as a leader or an expert of that topic, of that subject, it is your responsibility that you create kind of a vision for the employees or for the juniors. And you also create a mission which has to be completed at a limited time for a limited deadline. So when we are in any department or organization or working for office, then it is necessary that you have to present with a mission. That means with a target. And also you have to create a vision. Vision means that you have to create what future aspects are about your talk. When you are speaking about any topic, then what are the future visions are, the future aspects are. So that this is what is meant by the fourth point, that the mission and vision of the organization should be conveyed to the employees in a proper manner. Then we come to the last point, last bullet, and interpret and understand the mindsets of the listeners. Now here you get a variety of uh, listeners, variety of audience. The level of the audience would be, varied from a very low understanding to very high understanding. So you have to understand that what type of audience you are conversing with. So that you can interpret and understand it accordingly. Okay, so you have to understand their mindset, and accordingly you can convey your message in a proper way. So this is what is to interpret. So what are the 6 key elements? When it is being shown here with the slide, then the 6 key elements are: first, you have to prepare. So for any presentation, preparation is necessary. How can you prepare? You have to collect lot of information for preparation. So preparation means you know which topic you are going to talk about. So according to that topic, lot of information should be collected from various sources. It could be from internet, from books, from library, from other magazines, etc., or any other source. So preparation has to be made. For that, lot of information should be collected, so that even if somebody asks you question, you are able to answer, because you have so much of information about your topic and you are considered as the expert of topic. That is why you are presenting in front of so many people. Otherwise you would not have been called to present. So when you are presenting, it means that you are considered as a expert of that topic. So you should be knowing everything about it. For that, you have to collect lot of information. Just go through it, try to remember the key points or the highlighted points, so that you are able to answer any type of question which has been aroused by the audience. So this is what is preparation. Now it not only means that you just have to collect the information, but you have to organize it systematically. Okay, how do you organize it? Like you have to from that information, you should be setting apart the introduction part, the methodology part, the explanation part, the type. How will you explain? Through examples, through contrast, or through video charts, etc. Okay, so preparation means that you collect lot of information, then you try to organize it into a proper manner. How can you organize it? By dividing into subparts: introduction, methods, explanation, conclusion, and so on. So this is how you have organized your presentation in a systematic manner, so that it goes through a flow. So this is what is the preparation which is needed. And then you have to also collect the kind of a diagram, so that it matches with your content. So whatever your topic is, whatever the content is, some kind of diagrams or chart should be added to it, some graphs should be added to it, so that it matches with your content. So when you are presenting, then with the content, you are also getting some kind of an animated graphs or animated diagrams, which helps to understand your content better. So it is easy for the audience to understand it better, to interpret or to grasp better. So this is what is the preparation which has to be done. It could be done before, either if you are presenting it for the first time, maybe you have to prepare these things 2-3 days before. But if you are used to, then at least an hour before, or 30 minutes before, you can prepare the presentation. The second key element which is written over here is mode of presentation. That means what would be the mode of presentation? Whether it is PowerPoint presentation, whether it is chalk and board presentation, you are presenting through charts, are you presenting through handouts, is it an oral lecture without any slides, or is it through the slides? So accordingly, the mode of presentation, when you choose the mode of presentation, accordingly your content should be set. So if you are just presenting it in a class, you do not have the facility of PowerPoint or a projector or a screen. So if you are presenting in a class with the chalk and board, so either you can use chalk and board to explain. If you do not have chalk and board, then the mode of presentation would be, when you are presenting it orally, then you can give handouts. If you are doing some kind of a survey, you can have forms of that survey, so that you can distribute those survey forms to the audience, and they would just fill it and give it to you, so that you get more ideas of presentation later on. Then handouts means you can give notes to the audience so that they can read those handouts and try to analyze what you are trying to say. Okay, so there are variety of mode of presentation, but the best way these days in this era of presentations, the best way is PowerPoint presentation. So we generally make PowerPoint and try to project it on the screen. But if that screen and projector is not available, then you can choose any kind of mode of presentation, and accordingly the content should be arranged. So this is the mode of presentation, which is the second key element. The third key element is the audience. Now there is a lot to explain in audience. That what type of audience are you expecting? Whether you are expecting a smaller crowd or a bigger or a larger crowd. In a small crowd, it is easy for you to explain because it becomes personal. When there is a group of 10 or 15 people in front of you, it is easy for you to explain because you can give personal attention to everybody, and if they have questions, it could be sorted out immediately. So smaller groups are easy to handle because you can personally try to engage all the question and answer session. So, and you also try to solve their problems at the same moment. But when it is a larger crowd, like if you are on a dais and if you are speaking through a public address system and there is like 100 people sitting on the as an audience or maybe more, so then you use public address system. That means that you have to be used to of that public address system, how your voice and your tone would be projected to such a larger crowd, and then there is no personal connection or personal touch while you are saying this because there are hundreds of people sitting over there, 100 or 200 people sitting over there, so you cannot have personal connection with each and everyone. So the talk becomes little bit impersonal. That means that you just speak and you walk away. If there are questions, you deal with it. So the questions are also at the end of the talk, so it is not very personal, right? So this is a smaller crowd or a bigger crowd. In audience, you also have to judge the level of the audience. That if the level of the audience is too high, that means they are more experienced and more educated, more knowledgeable people sitting on the other side, then you have to raise the standard of your presentation to such a level that it looks that you are matching with them. Okay, so in an organization, when you are presenting in front of your boss or in front of the expertise, then you cannot go with the basic definitions, with the basic type of points, but you have to raise the standard to such a way that your vision is being shown in your presentation, because you are in front of expert people, you are in front of educated and more knowledgeable people. So this is what is the level of the audience. Now, if the level of the audience is low, that means lower than what you are expecting or what your knowledge is. That means if you are presenting in front of school children or maybe college students, where as an expertise you do not have, these people do not have that much of knowledge to understand everything. So then you have to lower your presentation level in such a manner that you get connected with those children, those school children. So you have to get connected with those school children because their level is not much to understand your topic. So that is how you have to fluctuate your level of presentation. You have to balance it according to the audience. So first thing we talked about is that the crowd, which can be large or small. The second type of thing we talked about is the level of the audience. Now the type of the audience, whether they are from the rural background, so they would not be having much exposure to the topic which you are speaking. If it is from the urban background, or more educated people or less educated people, so again, then you can change your level of presentation, because for rural background and for less educated people, you have to show more of visual aids. उनको ऐसे बात समझ में नहीं आती है, मगर जब आप उनको कुछ documentary दिखा देते हैं या film दिखा देते हैं, so they try to understand it much better. So what your idea should be, that everything which you are explaining to the rural background or the lower strata people or lower educated people, then you have to show it through the documentary, through some kind of a film, so that they relate themselves with that character and try to understand the things. Okay, but if it is more educated and urban people, then you can just go through bullets, you can give examples, and they are more exposed to the lifestyle in bigger cities. So you can relate any kind of examples from local level to the world level to the global level. They will try to understand. Okay, so it all depends upon the type of the audience you are dealing with. So this is what is the audience, that you have to judge the audience before you are presenting, so that you can try to make your presentations according to the set of the audience, and it would be easy for them to understand. The fourth point or the key element of presentation here, which is described, is language and delivery. Now, when you are giving an oral presentation, everything depends on the language, the type of language you are using. अगर आप कोई official presentation दे रहे हैं, so English language would be essential. So you have to develop the type of the good grammar in English language, the tone, the pronunciation and accent, the type of condensed material of more information, and then you have to also be very concise and precise, and then also to the point, and it has to be logical and systematic. So the language criteria has so many things which you have to understand. That first of all, there should be no spelling mistakes in your slides, the layout should be proper, the grammar should be proper, and everything is being shown when you are making it on your word power, or when you're making a PowerPoint presentation, or on your computer, because everything is shown there. If you have a spelling mistake, there would be red line, green line, blue line. If you have a grammar mistake, it will show through lines. Still, if being pointed out by the computer that your spelling is wrong or grammar is wrong, still if you go ahead and you have a spelling mistake in your slides when you're projecting, it shows a very bad impression, because it is always pointed out by the computer. And still, agar aap usko bhi nazarandaj karke, if you're avoiding it, and again you are having a spelling mistake or a grammar mistake, then it creates really bad impression, because you have got the hint, you have got everything in the computer. So you have to take care that your spellings and grammar should be correct when you're projecting. Then when it comes to oral delivery, then it is essential that you have proper accent, proper pronunciation, the native type of speaking, proper stress and syllables, which we have discussed before, that how to put stress where so that your delivery is more appropriate. Then the tone of a conversation, it should be more polite and courteous. So it all comes upon the delivery. We have already done the mode of delivery in previous lectures. So I think it would be easy for you to understand. What I'm trying to say here is that you have to see the overall expression which is coming out of your oral delivery. So that is what is oral delivery is. So language is important, the correctness of language is important, and the correctness of oral presentation. The next point here is to discuss about the non-verbal communication skill. We have had one full lecture of non-verbal communication, that how you can improve on that. So it includes body language, postures, gestures, facial expressions, which we have already done that in length in previous lectures. So I don't have to explain to you here in detail, but it is necessary to understand that when you are presenting, it should match with your expressions, with your posture and gesture. Okay. So when you are speaking, it has to be matching, your expression should be matching with the with your speech or with your presentation. So that is what is non-verbal communication. The last thing is the feedback, that once you finish your presentation, you will have question and answer session at the end. And if there are a lot of questions, a lot of confusion among the audience, that it will give you the feedback that you were not clear enough, so that the audience can understand very nicely. So if there are a lot of questions, lot of confusing questions coming up or popping up from the audience, then it shows that your lecture was very confusing and it was not clear for many. But if there are few questions which are relevant, it will pose that you were very clear in your presentations and there was not much scope for the audience to put up any questions, because they could understand everything. Okay. So this is what is meant by clarity of your presentation, that it should be such that not much question should be popping up from the audience, and only those questions which are relevant or which are necessary should be popping up. If it is more confusion among the audience, it shows that your presentation was not very clear to them. So this is the feedback which generally comes at the end. When there is question and answer, then only the feedback comes at the end of your presentation, whether it is successful or not successful. So we have seen that there are 6 elements of successful presentation we have talked about here, and you can just go through, and when you are presenting in your final exams, you will have to see that all these 6 elements are being included in that. We will quickly see that what are the tips for improving presentation skills, that what are the preparations you have to make for giving a good presentation skill. So first of all, practice. Practice always makes man perfect, as it is being said. So however more you practice, the more perfection you will get in your presentations. So that is why it is being taught in your schools and in your colleges, that how to give presentations, because then you can get an idea that where you are getting wrong and how you can improve. So how can you practice? You have to practice in front of your friends so that they can point out that where you are going wrong. If it is in oral delivery, if it is in pronunciation and accent, they can also ask you to improve on your pronunciation. And if there is an illogical content, or the steps are not good, or it is not being structured well, then also your friends can point out that the structures should be changed. The introduction should be changed a little bit. It could be a little brief, or maybe the methods, you can have this idea before, that idea after that. So this is how you can adjust your structure according to the demand of your friends or your when you speak in front of your friends, they try to analyze that where the things are going wrong, and they can always tell you to improve. You can practice in front of the mirror so that you can get an idea of your non-verbal communication skills, whether your expressions are coming right according to the speech. When it has to come naturally, but it always comes through practice. So when you are speaking in front of the mirror, you get to know that what you are speaking and your expressions, are they matching? Is your body language matching with the expressions or not? Whether when you are speaking, whether it is clear, your voice is clear, and you are able to open your mouth and pronounce clearly. So it could be analyzed there. Then you can also record your speech. It is written here. You can record your speech and presentation and visualize yourself for mistakes, pronunciation, and non-verbal communication. So when you record it, when you try to hear your voice, you will find that there are a lot of faults which you can always try to improve. Sometimes it is the expression or the stress of the sentence or the word. Sometimes you're not giving a proper stress to a proper word or a proper sentence. So it becomes wrong when you're speaking. And sometimes your body language does not match your expressions. So your expressions are shown when you record it and try to visualize yourself. And you can always improve through these mistakes. You can improve on your pronunciation, and it can also improve the body language, which should match according to your presentation. So practice makes man perfect, and if you practice a lot, then your presentation would be perfect. So just before going to the stage or to the dais in front of the audience, you should not be just going without rehearsals, but try to do a lot of rehearsal and go there if it is your first or second time or third time. But after that, you don't need rehearsal because you get expert in presenting. Okay, so initially you need a lot of practice before going to in front of the audience. Otherwise, it gives a bad impression to the audience. The second point here is again know your audience. So we have already discussed in length that how to analyze the type of the audience you are facing. That means the level of the audience, the background of the audience, the size of the audience. So we have already discussed about this. So accordingly, you can change your style and level of conversation, your level of presentation according to the audience. So your presentation should match according to the level of the audience. You should know your material or topic well. So that is what I had told you earlier also, that you should be knowing lot of information about your topic. You should collect a lot of information about a topic, try to read it, analyze, and try to keep it in your mind, so that if any questions or if anything where you want to explain it more, you are able to do it because you have got full knowledge about your topic. So deep and thorough understanding of your material is the best way to deliver. If you want to make a memorable speech, if you want to make a more informative speech so that the audience is able to remember your speech, then you should be having a lot of knowledge about the topic so that you can discuss at any length about any particular subtopics. Then we have another point which is necessary while you are presenting in PowerPoint presentations. So now we come to the PowerPoint presentations, that if you are giving it through projector and screen, and if you have made a slide, then you have to use less text. The content should be less because you are already speaking, you are already giving an oral delivery. So your content should be in your oral delivery, but in the slides, it should be only point wise. It should be only bullet wise. So use less text and more visuals in your presentation. More visuals means there should be some kind of graph which is related to the topic, to the content you are showing in the slide. There should be some diagram which should be connected to the subtopic which you are discussing, and then there should be like diagrams or kind of pop-out images or animation to make it more attractive, and also the people would be interested in understanding it through the visual aids. So more visuals should be presented, and you should be using less text and less content because you are already speaking, so you don't need more text on the slides, but you can always speak the details of the content. So overabundance of text and long paragraphs, the presentation lacks color images and no sense of creativity. So it says that your creativity is lost if you have a lot of content in your slide. So overabundance of text loses your creativity. It is shown more with the templates. It is shown more with the graphs or the charts or kind of a diagram. So use more graphs, pictures, diagrams, or any kind of visual aids so that you can enhance your presentations and your content can be given value to it. Okay, so less text and more of visual aids. We come to the next point, which says leverage your personality. So the whole of the audience would be eyeing on you. So everybody is eyeing on you. That means that your personality should be such that it should be more attractive so that the audience get captured with your personality. How you can do that? You can do that through perfect body language and expressions. You also have to use some kind of humor, some sense of humor should be used so that it gives more attraction to your personality. So if you are just speaking with a very serious face, with a very somber face, then people will not like it. But if you are smiling and if you are cracking some kind of a joke, you are relating some stories or anecdotes which is related to your topic, which is related to your content, then it creates more humor and more interesting for the audience. Otherwise, it becomes very monotonous and boring. So your mannerisms can be shown in your personality by a smiling face and by using some kind of humor which is related to the content. So be empathetic, smile more, create more energy and passion in your speech. That means whatever you are saying, whatever your topic is, you just have to go very deep into that topic so that you create passion among the audience about your topic. So your topic should be such that it should create an energy for the audience, and they are interested. They want to know more and more about it. So they don't leave the hall, or they don't get bored, or they don't. It does not become monotonous. So create more energy and passion in your presentations. Then maintain eye contact with your audience. So this is the next point. So if you have a small crowd, it is very easy to maintain an eye contact because it is you get a personal touch with the small crowd, with the small number of people who are sitting there. But what if there is a very large crowd where there are many people in the hall and you are the only person who is speaking? So you cannot have a very personal touch with that audience. So you can have that personal touch by maintaining a proper eye contact at every level. That means if you have a bigger hall, then your eye contact should be like you should be seeing from that corner to the other corner, from left to right, from in front of the seats, people who are sitting there in front. You can focus sometimes at the center of the hall, so that you try to cover everybody who are sitting there in the larger crowd, and it shows that you are trying to capture the interest of everybody who is there in the hall, because it is not possible to have a very personal interaction with them. But even if it is impersonal, you can maintain an eye contact by looking at left side once, maybe right side on the other, then you see at the front rows, and then you focus in the centers also. So if you are maintaining an eye contact in such groups, then it shows that you are trying to capture the audience with your speech. But otherwise, if you are just seeing at one particular place and you are trying to deliver the whole lecture, it will not look nice, it will not be very impressive. So try to move your eyes to various corners of the hall, so that it tries to capture the audience into your speech. And you don't have to lose eye contact. It says here you cannot lose your eye contact. That means that you cannot just watch your slide and present, because it is at the back. So you cannot have back towards the audience. अगर आप अपने slides को देखकर बात कर रहे हैं, तो then your back would be towards the audience and your eye contact would be with the slide. So you do not have to read the slides. Okay, you try to face the audience and let the slides be at the back, towards the back of you. And if you want to read it, you can just have a glance, or maybe if you have a laptop at the podium, you can have a glance at the laptop. So it is not that you always have to read through your notes or through your laptop and you do not have an eye contact with the audience, but your face should be towards the audience and you are trying to have a glance to just get into the topics. Okay, so this is how you can maintain a good eye contact with the audience. So it also says that you have to pay attention to all sitting there. So that means that if you are focusing on groups, you are able to pay attention to all the audience who are sitting there. So that is how you can involve them into your conversation, into your speech. Next, we come to the body language. So your gestures and posture speak a lot about your personality and also about the expressions. So if you have a smiling face, if your hand gestures are at just right, that means you do not have to make hand movements out of your body size. If it is just within your body size, then it looks more nice. But if you just flap your hands outside your body size, it does not look very impressive. So your hand gestures should be in control, your posture should be straight, your movement should be active. Lazy movement नहीं होना चाहिए, आपका active movement होना चाहिए. That if you are stepping if you are taking 2-3 steps to the right side of the podium, to the dais or the left side, then it should be a smart step. It should not be very lazy movement. Proper eye contact, we have already talked about. Powerful stance, that means that gaze should be so powerful according to the expression that people get attracted to it. Physical signs of nervousness should be avoided. That means if you are playing with the pen, if you are playing with the keys or the chalk or with your paper or something, so then it shows the fidgetiness in your personality. That means that you are nervous. So try to avoid these things while you are speaking. You should just keep your hands free and try to speak according to the hand gesture and the expressions. Okay, so this is what is all about the body language. If you sometimes feel out of breath, or if you feel that you are not able to speak because you have got a memory loss for a second, so then you have to take deep breath. आप थोड़ा सा break लीजिए और try to take 2-3 deep breaths, so that lot of oxygen goes into your body and you are able to get energized through it. Drink a glass of water, take a break, drink a glass of water and gather confidence again, so that you can speak again for few minutes. Okay, so sometimes it happens that while you're speaking, you just go blank and you think that your memory is not recalling, and maybe you get nervous because seeing so many audience in front of you, and it is a very natural thing to get nervous in front of the audience. It is not that कि आप ही को nervousness होती है, सबको nervousness होती है, because it is a natural thing to happen to the human beings, that in front of lot of people in front of the audience, people do get nervous. So it is nothing which is happening only to you. But there are things to avoid that nervousness, not to show it to the audience. For that, there are various tips which we had discussed in the non-verbal communication skills, that how you can avoid showing your nervousness to the audience. Okay. So if you sometimes feel that you are going blank, then take 2-3 deep breaths, drink a glass of water, take a break, and then gather your confidence and speak again. So this is how you can have a control over your body language, about your gestures and postures. Next point is keep it as short as possible. That means that if you speak less, then it will be remembered more. But if you are just narrating or describing things unnecessarily with excessive use of words and sentences, then people might get bored and they will not be able to grasp or get the content what you are saying. So say only those things which are necessary, which are the key points, and don't try to be very narrative or descriptive in your speech. Only share the important information and share it very quickly. Try to be brief with subtopics so that you do not linger on with one topic for quite a long time. Structure your presentation effectively. I've already told you that you have to organize it very effectively, that introduction, methodology, explanation, description, practicals or experimentation, and conclusion. So this is how you have to structure your presentation effectively. Do not read from the slides. So this is a big no-no, yet that you do not have to read from the slides. The slides should be at the back and you have to face the audience. Try to glance it once in a while so that you don't lose the sequence of the topics, but otherwise you have to face the audience and speak. We come to the next slide, which says that 7 ways to start presentation. So how you can start your presentation. So if you start a presentation with a captivating line, then it would be remembered and people might get interested right at the front, right from the front topic, front line or the opening line of the paragraph. So if you start dull, then your whole presentation goes dull and people are also not very interested. They tend to sleep when you are presenting. So you would not like to have that. So try to tell a captivating story right at the beginning of the presentation, just to capture the attention of the audience. So once the attention of the audience is being captured, then it is easy for you to go and to go with the flow of your presentation. And even when after some time it gets boring, but again the audience which are sitting there would be very interested because your starting was very interesting, very captivating. Okay, so how can you do that? So there are 7 ways which have been told here. The first is you can tell a captivating story. You can start with any kind of a story, or you can relate your content with some kind of story so that people get attracted to it and they also are amused, and you can create a sense of humor in that so that the people are pleased to hear about your presentation. The second point here is ask a rhetorical, thought-provoking question. So you can always start your presentation with a thought-provoking question. You can just put a question right in the first slide so that people get anxious to know the answer of it. So they can also try to answer, and if they do not, they would be curious enough to know the answer. So that curiosity will bind the audience towards the presentation. Okay, so this is how you can start the presentation with a thought-provoking question. The third point given here is state a shocking statistics or headline. So you can always show a statistic which is devastating, or some kind of a shocking statistic or data, a shocking data, so that the people are again curious to know that what has to be done next. Okay, so this is how you can captivate the audience, and they would be curious enough or more interested in your presentation to know the details of that data or statistics. You can use a powerful quote, a powerful phrase, lines of poems to make it more interesting and more amusing, and you can also use a creativity in that. So this is how, with powerful quote, shlok, or poems, or a phrase, you can start your presentation. You can show a gripping photograph. If you show a picture which is more gripping, then people will again be curious to know that how we can solve this. Okay, so gripping photograph is also a good idea to start a presentation. use a prop up or a creative visual aid. So any type of visual aid which you think would be very attractive for the audience to write at the starting point, then you can show that. Play a short video right in the beginning, so that again the audience would be having a more interesting, will start with an interesting way, so audience would be interested in understanding the business presentation. So these are the 7 ways you can start your presentation. You can choose any one of them and try to start your presentations. I would quickly also say that how you can improve on your presentations. So we will just quickly will try to analyze that how your presentations can be improved. Research your audience. We have talked about it on length. You have to see the level of the audience, the interest, the size, the background, and so on. Structure your presentation by opening lines, body, that means the explanation, last way, closing. So these are the 3 things where you can structure your presentation. How to open it, how to give the introduction. So how you can open it? You can open it with a story, a rhetoric question, a shocking statistic, a picture, or any kind of video. You can open it with an introduction of yourself by thanking the organization, by thanking the people who have invited you. You can put some emotional connection to the to it, so that the audience is captivated. So this is how you can open your presentation. How to carry on with the explanation? You can have 2-3 points of explanations which can be put into slides. You can engage the audience through the statistics, through the data, through you can engage the audience through the logical and systematic way of explanation, with methods, with experimentations. You can use the idea of some useful information, which, and then at the end you come with the outcome. तो आपने जितना भी अभी तक explain किया, if you come with the outcome at the end, then they will relate that explanation more nicely, and it would be prepared from the both aspects, like pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages. So you can have the explanation from both the sides. So this is how you can make the body of the presentation, and at the end you can come to the conclusion. And how you can close? You can close by asking again a question to the audience. You can close with some kind of an incomplete, infinite sentence in where people are still in dilemma whether this is done or not. Or you can end it in a positive forecast. That means that you have to end at a positive information and you can also conclude your presentations through a good result or a good conclusion at the end. So this is how you can close your presentation. Okay. Then, as I have already said, practice, practice, and practice, and don't memorize. So you have to just practice your speech, practice your structure, your explanations, your examples, and everything. Videotape yourself, memorize your speech a little bit, calm down your nerves, and that is how you can have more confidence. You can gather more confidence while you are giving a presentation. And how you can improve on oral speech, on your verbal delivery. So you have to be very brief. Now here the statistics has been given that in 2005, the study was found that an average adult was able to focus on a loading web page only for 4 to 8 seconds. तो कोई भी आप अगर वेब पेज खोलते हैं तो एक एडल्ट का यहाँ पर स्टडी आई है कि दे कैन ओनली फोकस इट फॉर 4 to 8 seconds and not more than that. So it tells you that you have to be brief in your slides. That means your slides should be only there for a minute and not more than a minute if they are having 4 or 5 topics, subtopics in one slide. Because a person would not be able to concentrate more on one slide for a very long time. So you have to be very brief in your oral speeches, in your oral delivery, or in your slides. Keep on asking questions to the audience so that your delivery or your presentation becomes more interesting, and the audience is also interacted. When you can have good interaction with the audience, and our audience is also interested in your presentations. Speak to your demographic. That means match the semantics of the audience as closely as possible. Means try to speak in their language. Speak to their demographic regions, like what type of dialects they are from, which region are you trying to go and give your lecture. So if you relate your lectures with the demographic area or a kind of their culture or their environment, then it becomes more interesting for the audience. Okay. Work on your tone. So you have to continuously improving on your conversational tone. It should be more stylish. It should be more apt according to the recent era, in recent fashion. So you have to practice with your tone and conversational style. Then you should avoid speaking softly. मतलब बहुत धीरे भी नहीं बोलना है, बहुत ज़्यादा जोर से भी नहीं बोलना है. If you speak very softly, then it shows that you are not confident enough. So you don't have to speak very softly. You don't have to shout also. There should be a perfect balance of speed. There should be a perfect balance of volume, and so that you can make your oral presentations more impressive and more attractive. Avoid using some words which are repetitions. Like you have to avoid repetitions. You have to avoid unnecessary sounds like that unnecessary fillers. So these fillers should be avoided. Don't use the words like negative words. You should not use negative words. Use only positive words. Look at your body language, your eye contact, postures and gestures, smiling face, attractive expressions, and your PowerPoint should be attractive. It should be used with attractive background colors, font and text style, and again it should be displayed in a more proper manner. So these are the things where you can improve on your presentation styles. So now we come to an end of this lecture. We will be finishing this presentation. We have finished this presentation skills today, and it would be helpful for you for your end semester exams when you would be giving your presentation skills. So if you have